Yeah.
Yeah, if you can tweet a link.
Yep.
I have all these friends like who every week they'll text me and be like, "How can we watch your show?" And I'm always like, I literally say it live on YouTube every week. And it also it's them saying like, "Yeah, I haven't watched it up until this point." I'm like, Herman Phoenix. All right, I'll tweet out the link and then we'll get going. Well, you got the Yankees game on?
I do.
Red Sox game?
Yeah.
Rivalry's back, man.
It's getting there. It's for sure getting there. Friday's game killed me.
Dude, I was there.
Good for you, Charlie.
No, but I was just saying, like the rivalry seems back. Like they're like it was the first time in a while I like saw like Red Sox and Yankees fans like almost getting fights in the stands like they used to when I was like a kid growing up.
Yeah. All right. Hanley flashing leather at first.
Oh God. So good. All right, here. I'm just gonna retweet you, Clem. All right, let's get going. One second, let me pull it up. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the post Game of Thrones show. We are here with a very, very special guest. I'm friends with everyone at Barstool. I like everybody. But I can honestly say joining this week is one of my favorite guys. He is the co-host for Barstool Radio on Sirius XM Monday through Friday, head of social media at Barstool Sports, and host of the Mixtape podcast show, which is one of the most popular NBA podcasts in the world and has had on basketball luminaries such as JaVale McGee, Spencer Haywood, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Coley Mick, what's up, man?
How's it going, fellas? It's glad to be back. What was it, last season I was on?
You came on last season I think you were there for the third to last episode, and you made a bunch of predictions, and they ended up like all being, you nailed a bunch of them because there are calls for you to come back.
I can't wait. I heard last week you guys were talking about me watching some of the spoilers. I don't know anything from the rest of this season. It was all up until last episode.
Okay, so we slandered you. I apologize in person, but I'll apologize now publicly. I thought that you read the spoilers of the finale, but it was really just you just watched it. You did what Clem and Feidelberg both did. You did what pretty much the entire universe did, except for me. I guess I can't blame you. And then, as always, we have my co-host. It's a good one this week. The Many Snacks God, the Iron Bank Shot of Bravos, the Blogger of the Morning, the House of Black and White Cookies, the Porzingis that was promised, the King-Size Kit Kat Slayer, Ruler of the Seven Courses, Clemwell Tarley, the White Bread Walker, the Swedish Blackfish, the Snackfish, Azora High Cholesterol, the King's Road Commuter, the Bloggers Without Banners, Jorah Mormont, Sir Bearston the Bald, and Meister Met. What's up, Clem?
Meister Met. That's a good one. That's a good one. You haven't
come up with that one.
You haven't brought up a breaker of chairs yet, and I just want to say thank you for that.
I haven't done breaker of chairs, and I haven't done three-chinned raven. I was offered those, and I didn't do either of them. So I just want that to be known. I guess it kind of defeats the purpose by me saying that I didn't do it, but whatever.
I am anonymous.
There's gotta be like a Charles Oakley like pun with like all the faces in the trees that Bran touched. There's something there. We'll workshop that.
There's something. We have to go. I have to delve into the Knicks because all we have is really the Porzingis that was promised, which almost doesn't even mean anything, but other than the fact that it's just a basketball player who's real. How sad would it have been if Kristaps got traded? That we would have had to have scrapped that nickname. All right, so this week, I think it was a good episode. It was more of a setup, especially after the stunning action of last week. It started quick to a point where I thought that maybe we were going to get just another boom, boom sort of action-packed episode. We didn't. But in general, I was pleased. I thought it was a good use of a Sunday night. Coley, what did you make of this week just in terms of how much you enjoyed it, general impression?
First of all, I can't remember if it was you or Fights, but like that lake that they almost drowned in gets bigger every time they show it. Like, and somehow in full armor, they swam across like the entire bottom of it to get to the other side.
It's like a small ocean, essentially.
Yeah. Drogon also, much like the lake, gets bigger every time we see him. Like, that dude,
which makes sense,
I guess. But how old is he now? Like in dragon years, like is he like a 5-year-old? Like compared to like humans, because he's gonna keep getting bigger. Like he's potentially unnecessarily large. Like he's as big as a fucking. I don't know. He's like the Indomitian Sioux of like dragons.
You're saying it's just at this point now where he's as somebody who's described himself as excessively large. Do you think you're just kind of projecting on Drogon right now?
I called him my dad on Twitter during this episode because he had so many incredible moments. Like Drogon's. If Drogon's not your favorite character at this point, like I don't know why people are watching the show. Like there are a lot of great options for the favorite character, but Drogon. I mean, him and Jon are best pals now. Like everything about that was great.
Do you find it depressing almost, though, how aggressively much more loved he is than the other two dragons? Like, if you're somebody who never felt like you were their parents' favorite, then I feel like Drogon is going to... I mean, because he's just so clearly Dany's #1 weapon.
Drogon is Lonzo Ball, to borrow basketball rights from our boy here on Mixtape. He's definitely Lonzo. I don't even remember the other two dragons' names, but, the asshole is going to be Lamella with the fucking hair, and then Leangelo, that dragon that's just downstairs making shoes, is going to be Leangelo.
I'll be honest, I don't know the other two dragons' names, and I think I know more about Thrones than and I know an unreasonably nerdy amount about Thrones, and I don't know anything about the other two names.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I was gonna be the only one who didn't know their names. I'm glad we're all on the same page here because they're both Leangelo right now.
All right, Clem, what did you think? Do you like it?
Yeah, I made a note here. So the episode was named Eastwatch, so I think we all thought we were gonna get like a big White Walker battle because Hardhome was at Hardhome.
Yeah,
and they fucking swerved on us. So I give them credit. They really fucking pulled the click one on us there.
I was really shocked. I thought I called last night on Twitter. I was like, I think we're going to get someone was like, our boy Riggs tweeted out, this episode's going to be lit. And I quote retweeted being like, literally, I think we're going to get a flaming sword because they named it Eastwatch. So I figured they were going to go to Eastwatch, which in my head, I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense because Eastwatch is so far away, but they haven't really like the time dilation and location. They've all, I just think the show at this point, people who complain like, oh, Tyrion couldn't make it back to King's Landing and back. I'm like, all right, the show is clearly set at this point. They don't care about that. So just like throw those complaints out. Like you're just going to have to suspend some disbelief with that. But yeah, I was surprised. So I was shocked. I was expecting to see them go to Eastwatch this.
Yeah, and at least just get there and start some fighting if it wasn't gonna like actually take place. This is the thing too. I don't know about you guys. Like when I see the wall in the opening credits, I'd be like, "Fuck, we're going back to this place today." And then they fucking swerved it on us. We moved over. Like, oh fuck yeah, it's going down, baby. Eastwatch. Like I know what the fuck Eastwatch is. And it just kind of was like I actually said to my wife, though, I was like, you know what? I'd be fine if this was like kind of a throwback episode where it's a lot more talking and scheming than just shit blowing up and people dying, because it's like sooner or later you just need to take a break, man. It was at a crazy pace. People are also traveling at such crazy paces. Like Jorah's already there, and now he's all the way up at the wall. So it's like you really have no idea what's here and there now. So like I was fine with it kind of going a little slower. And by the way, I looked in the chat room. Viserion and then Rhaegal were the two dragons' names.
Can you shut that down right now, just in case that guy from last week comes back?
Oh, you want? No, I was just gonna let it roll, and then if someone comes in, I'll just boot him again.
Okay, cool. You can do that if you're willing to be the hall monitor. All right, let's start off. We'll go into the actual plot now. Not much to say about this, but one thing that I did love was Braun in the beginning saying, like, our employment. He said almost what Feidelberg said verbatim last week, where Feidelberg said, like, if I was in the army, I would show the second I see dragons, I'd be like, no, I signed up to fight, like, human beings and mortals, not, like, magical creatures. Braun basically looked at him, the guy who's so unflappable, like, the streetwise smart aleck. He basically, like, goes like this and was like, I am done with this. Like, my employment does not cover dragons. So it shows the enormity that he's scared. And then Dany just goes and flames the remainder of the Tarly bloodline, assuming that Sam, in theory, can't have children anymore because he took the black. So that was brutal. And then there's a scene of Tyrion clearly looking disaffected by it, talking to Varys, and him saying she gave them a choice, trying to rationalize it, and Varys saying, yeah, she could have chosen not to have burned a guy alive next to his son. Brutal way to kill someone, too. Coley, do you think Dany... So now what a lot of people are thinking is Dany's going to go full heel and eventually become this, like, Mad King heiress character. What do you think of that?
I mean, I don't know, because she always has people, like, constantly bringing that up in her face. So either that's going to like completely push her that way, or she's going to keep getting pushed to try and be the opposite all the time. I think she was just tired of like the Targaryen army being so big, and she just keeps trying to break them down left and right. I mean, the Tarlys stink, all of them, even Sam. Sam stinks. He
You hate Sam?
Well, we'll get to it later, but even like he fucked up later. Like he just doesn't listen. He's a fucking idiot.
All right. Oh,
I
sorry.
was pumped when Drogon roasted them. Like I thought he was going to eat them at first. I thought it was going to be.
I thought they was going to eat them too, for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like Jurassic Park, like opening scene, like feeding them like the goat or whatever it was. But like that, Dracarys might be like my favorite word ever now. Like every time I hear it, I just get like a tingle up my spine.
Yeah, like I want to say find Dracarys in like everyday sources of life. I don't really do anything cool or dramatic enough. Like maybe like, but like every time I do something big, I want to just go like Dracarys. Like that might be that might just be my new like signature thing to say. Clem, do you think Dany's going to go nuts?
I think she's gonna like pick and choose her spots, and I wish she said it like. Remember when she like with the slavers and whatever? When she's like the goddess. I like when she throws a little bit of swagger on it. Like now she's just using it like an American accent now. I'm like, what the fuck is that, Dany? Like you're not fucking from here.
You know what it's like, Clem? It's literally like Brad Pitt in Inglourious Basterds when he's like "Buongiorno" and just like says it in the most like thick way possible. It's like, no, man, there has to be like an Italian twist on it, or it doesn't sound cool.
Yeah. But like everyone's like, oh, this and that. Her dad's the Mad King, yada yada. Like the history books say, like her father came here and just roasted motherfuckers until everyone just started bending the knee. And I think she's not her father, like her great grandfather, you know, the Conqueror, Aegon the Conqueror. Like that's the kind of shit you have to do with dragons, because everyone's like, dragons don't exist. Up, dragons exist. Up, they light people on fire. I forgot about that somehow. And then I was with you, Coley. Not to like a little father moment here. My kid the other day, we said, "What does a Tyrannosaurus see?" Because she's into dinosaurs, and she said goats and cars. And I've never been prouder in my entire life.
Those are facts. Those are just facts.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Also, when Dany tells everyone to bend the knee and like 5 people do, and then Drogon just like yells and everyone bends the knee, like that was amazing. Like
that was amazing, but it did prove the point to her. I think Daenerys, like, I think it just proves the point that she has this like idea of herself in her head where she's like, I'm this benevolent ruler and they're all gonna love me and like that's why everyone's gonna come on my side. Where it's like, no, Daenerys, the reason why they all bent the knee was they were absolutely terrified of your dragon. Like that's not like, they're not doing that. There's no love here. Like they're doing it because you have a weapon that they've essentially never seen before. It's like if after like World War II, everybody was like, oh, everyone loves the United States now because we're such great guys. It's like, no, it's because you just nuked Japan.
Yeah, and like Dany, like remember those like 5 seasons where like your story absolutely sucked and you were in Essos and you were trapped there and everything kept fucking falling apart? Like there's a reason that you had to go through all that. You should be learning stuff as you go along. So I like to think she kind of knows what she's doing here, but we'll see.
Do you think Tyrion or Varys ever fully turn on her? Because the ground, I'm not saying it's inevitable they'll do it, but the groundwork is laid where there'll now be a question of if they will do it.
I'd say if anyone, it would be Varys before Tyrion. I think Varys is dude, fucking spiders are spiders, dude. You have a pet spider, that thing will fucking stick its fangs in you the minute it can if it has to. So I'd say Varys before Tyrion. I don't know if either will, but that would be my choice out of the two.
Coley, do you think either of them turn?
I feel like Varys is a big, like, I'm going to be on the winning team no matter what. And until like, and like he might go with the White Walkers if push comes to shove. Like I don't know if he's going to go back to like Cersei or anything like that unless she can coerce a dragon, because right now she doesn't have anything. Tyrion, I don't know. I think he wants to get Jamie on his side. I don't think he wants to go to their side.
Yeah, no. Tyrion doesn't have anywhere necessarily to go because Cersei is never going to fully forgive him. I mean, she doesn't care that he didn't kill his son. Like she wanted him dead before then. She wants him dead now. So there's absolutely no reason that, even though she let that meeting happen because it served her ends, if he wants a side, no side's a winning side for Tyrion except Daenerys. So I don't know if he's going to necessarily have a choice unless he just straight up sacrifice himself.
I also think Tyrion, like how we know Jon Snow's related to Daenerys, I also think Tyrion could also be related, because like when what's his name, the dude, I always forget his name, the dude the mountain squished his head like a grape.
Oberyn.
When he shows up and he's like describing like baby Tyrion, he describes him kind of like how you describe a baby dragon, and like he was like, I was told he was this monstrous creature, like, and we already know like all of Daenerys's, like all the men in her family were just laying seeds all over fucking everywhere. So it would
And in the books, it's known that Tyrion's mother, that the Mad King was in love with her, and that was part of the reason of the rivalry between him and Tywin. So that's in the books, not necessarily in the show. And
Trent brought this up. When, like, so far, the only people the dragons have been cool with are Daenerys, Jon Snow, and Tyrion when he walked down when they were chained up. So, like, the fact that they didn't flame him means they can smell something on him.
Yeah.
John's mom died in childbirth, and Daenerys' mom's died in childbirth for her, and then Tyrion's mom died in childbirth for him. So it's like there's a lot of shit there that pointing that direction.
No, they're definitely the three main characters, and they're only three characters who I can say with certainty aren't going to die, like have that plot armor. And I know it's been sort of the trademark of Game of Thrones, the lack of plot armor. Anybody safe? Those are the three, because they were born, like you guys said, like all mothers died in childbirth, marginalized circumstances. So it's a pretty popular fan theory that it's going to be there's this concept of like the three-headed dragon. The fact they're three dragons, they're each going to ride one at this point. I personally, if we're going to talk about this theory, I hope it's not true, because I just think Tyrion's relationship with Tywin is more interesting if he is his actual son. Does that make sense? Like, I just think in general, I just think it has a lot more depth to it that way. I think him being a Targaryen, it would just sort of come out of nowhere. Whereas for Jon Snow, there were clear, which we'll actually get to that birth later, there were clear hints to it. Even if you didn't read the books, there were hints in the show that could have thought of it. Whereas for Tyrion, I know we just brought up some, but I think it would more or less come. So it would come seem more out of nowhere for me. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, and to go back with Varys too, Varys is giving a little bit of the LeBron James, like, maybe I will go back to Cleveland. Maybe I will go to LA. Like, he's definitely dropping hints right now. Like, Varys is ready. He will be the first one off that roster, like, once everyone fucking gets hurt or, like, the contracts just start fucking up a roster, man. He's a spider, dude. That's what they do.
You know what he is? He's like if your friend, like, wants you to, like, break up with a girl, and he'll be like, no, she's great. She's great. But have you noticed this one thing about, again, you guys should totally, she's awesome. But I have to bring up, do you think it might be his time? Like, that's what Varys is doing to Tyrion right now. He's like, no, Daenerys is great. But just, like, bringing up absolutely anything that could possibly tear them apart. All right, so now we have Cersei. She's talking to Jamie, getting counsel. She's right, by the way. When she was in a spot, she knows it's an unwinnable war. There's absolutely no way that she can compete with three dragons. Three dragons is just like it's the Warriors offense, to use if we're going to be doing all basketball metaphors today. Like, it's just like an unbeatable weapon. There's nothing that can possibly be done about it. But she also can't surrender because she can't surrender. Like, what are they going to do? Let her take the black? Like, she really doesn't have any other options. So she's in a really hard spot. Turns out she's pregnant and is willing to tell everybody that it's her brother's baby, which to me just proves something I said in the beginning of the season, which is that your Cersei just doesn't care anymore. Has just, like, dropped all pretenses and is a certain type of crazy. And she let Jamie meet Tyrion and says, all right, yeah, we're going to go and help them against the White Walkers because this is the only way we could possibly win. Do you guys have any thoughts on what we saw from Cersei tonight? Clem, let's start with you.
I imagine this theory is probably gaining traction online. I feel like Feidelberg, this is right up his alley. Like, crazy girlfriend that says she's pregnant just to get you back on her side. Like, that's Cersei all the way. The fact Qyburn was in there and talking to her about it before he came in. I mean, Cersei could set that up as a seed too. I mean, she knows exactly. She's playing it at all angles, man. She knows what she's doing. But Cersei, a cornered Cersei is, like, maybe the most entertaining character on this show. So I just can't wait to see what she does.
Yeah, what you know when, like, Dave says, like, oh, if you put me in a corner, like, the claws come out and he's just willing to say anything. Like, that's like Cersei, except for instead of, like, mean tweets, it's like committing mass genocide. Coley, what did you think of Cersei being backed in a corner and allegedly pregnant?
Yeah, I'm all in with Clem and the rest of the internet. It felt like just like a bold-faced lie. Like, she always has ulterior motives with everything she does. I can't imagine the fact she knows how close Jamie is with Tyrion. She knows he freed him. Like, they're brothers, and she needs to keep him as close as possible. And the fact that she's willing to, like, say it to everyone, shout it from the mountaintops, is like, seems like a way to, like, make sure he doesn't get out of line. Like, make sure, like, oh, you're gonna turn your back on me. Like, everyone's gonna know about you. Like, you running out on me, and, like, the what would that be? Like, the prince?
Yeah, totally. And also, it's gonna for the popular theory that, you know, one day Jamie's gonna have to kill Cersei, like, that he's gonna have to make the same decision as the Mad King. Maybe she sees that coming too, and she's like, you know what, if he thinks I'm carrying his child, he's not gonna kill me. One person whose reaction to that news, even though we haven't seen him in a few episodes, Euron Greyjoy. I mean, was promised that if he wins this war for her, that he's gonna, you know, be able to marry the queen. unless he's willing to raise her incest baby for her. But all power to him if he is. Like, I'm a big fan of I know a lot of people who have fathers who aren't necessarily their biological father, who've raised them as their own sons. I'd be totally fine with that. But if the father was her brother, I think that would change things considerably. So, I don't know. We'll just see how he reacts that little bit in it.
Euron is like the coolest, like in a scary, terrifying way, like stepdad of all time. Like, he's not the one buying you beers at like 16. He's buying you like meth at 16. Be like, yo, let's fucking do this, man. Like, he's a fucking crazy dude. Yeah, I feel like Euron's just looking for power, but he definitely will be a little butthurt about it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be interesting to see what she does. And then, well, the whole thing of I want to be smart of it, the only thing you can assume is she's going to try to get Jamie in a room and just do some sort of stunning betrayal where she like just tells someone to just like throw a spear at her chest or something like that. Like, we all know that there's no way that Cersei is going to be doing this in good faith, but I think what she's going to do, whether it succeeds or not, is going to be like pretty gut-wrenchingly horrifying.
Yep, it's all she knows how to do. Everything she does is gut-wrenchingly horrifying.
Yeah, that's just her entire personality. Imagine if someone said that about you. Just be like, that's Coley. Everything, good guy, but everything he does, just... All right,
I kind of like the idea of after the first episode of this series where you're like, oh no, Jamie, the guy that just pushed the kid out the window, that's the good twin. The other one's the really bad person. Like, it's fucking crazy how this show just goes.
The evolution of Jamie, where somebody once said, like, I once recommended the show to a friend and he started watching it and he's like, man, that Jamie Lannister. And I forgot that he was only on season 1 and I was on like season 5. I was like, oh, isn't he the man? He's like, did he just try to kill that kid? Like, kill the kid after banging his sister? I was like, yeah, but like, other than that, like, it's great. All right, so now you have Jon. They brought it back to Dragonstone after that, where he claims the dragon. Speaking of incest, you see that definitely had Dany thinking some type of way, where she was like, Jon can tame the dragon. And her thought was probably like, maybe this means we can be together. Maybe this means we have to get it on. No, dude, it actually means you're related. So, although, as Feidelberg said, man, the taboo has been taken out of incest because of Game of Thrones for a lot of people. And there was also something that I thought was interesting, and I haven't been able to fully figure this out and would like to for the blog tomorrow, so if you guys have thoughts, that'd be helpful. When she said she said, was that a figure of speech about you taking a knife to the heart? And he just like didn't answer her. That's twice now where he's tried to avoid that topic. So when it comes up, it's going to be a big deal. Why do you guys think that's what do you think the significance of that could possibly be?
To me, it's like he's trying to convince her to like fight against an army of undead. I don't think it would be a good look for him if he was like, oh, I was also dead recently. By the way. To me, it's just like, hey, yeah, there's these people who have died and then they came back to life. They're bad. I've died and come back to life, but I'm good. Like, I don't know if you could sell all of that at once.
Yeah, that's maybe a good point. Clem, do you think that's what it is?
I mean, that was basically my point. It's like literally the one thing that you're like trying to sell her on is the undead army. And it's like, how do I know you're not their leader and you're just looking to fucking slaughter me?
Right.
It's a tough sell.
Imagine if that was a Game of Thrones twist, if that was Jon Snow just like was like, actually, I'm a White Walker. Like next episode, I'm a White Walker sleeper agent and just like stabs everybody. I wouldn't hate that.
I would love it. I would absolutely, like, I'm so sick and twisted with the show. I'd absolutely love it. It's like something no one sees coming, man. I'd love it.
The more bad characters turn out to be good, and the more good characters turn out to be bad. Like I love that type of stuff. Like I was huge on Breaking Bad, like Walter White becoming the villain and all that. Like I love those evolutions. I need to see. I think that's why I'm like honestly rooting for Dany to like be this like homicidal maniac eventually. I just kind of want to see what would happen.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels was good on the Rockers. He was one of the best heels ever. Same with The Rock. Like The Rock was a shitty good guy. He was an awesome bad guy. So fucking throw Jon Snow as a bad guy. I take that in a heartbeat.
I just got a tweet from somebody saying that they've noticed me and Coley are both visibly looking at TVs right now. Maybe it wasn't smart to have a Red Sox fan and a Yankees fan do this podcast while Sunday Night Baseball has the biggest Yankees-Red Sox game in like 5 years. But hey, whatever. We're still gonna roll on. Jorah's back. He shows up. He's curing grayscale.
Motherfuckers. Yeah, motherfuckers. I told you that's my guy. He's been my guy since day one. I'm rolling. The Jorah crew is hot right now.
Coley, are you in the Jorah gang or not? Because it's something me and Clem argue about frequently.
It's like for the longest time, he just like, I mean, he started off, he was like a whiny bitch and he was like a snitch, which I can't respect. And then like he got a change of heart, like knocked the wine out of that. Like he set up that poor wine dealer. Like that dude didn't deserve to die. He just got paid to poison someone. Jorah just pulled a double on him. Like that was fucked up.
I didn't even think about that. If you showed up and the guy says, "Hey, give me," pays you, "Hey, kill this girl," and then you go to do it, and then he murders you.
Yeah,
you would just be like, "What?"
Like he's trying to set up the Queen of Dragons. Like I can somewhat understand that he was paid to do that, but like that poor guy didn't deserve to get murdered. Like no, I don't know. He's annoyed me more than I've enjoyed him. I wish those rock people just like pulled him to the bottom of that, like just ripped him off that boat with Tyrion.
Well, not with Tyrion.
No. Like, Tyrion got to float away, but he was with Tyrion then.
Yeah, and I know that there's going to be, like, right now, the number one complaint on my blog that's going to be upvoted is people going to be like, it's so dumb that Jorah gets to go north that quickly, like that he went from, like, point A to point B to point C in only 2 episodes. And it's just like I said at the beginning of the episode, man, it's like, you're going to have – we're suspending enough disbelief about the whole White Walkers and fictional continent and dragons thing, Ed Sheeran. Like, we already have put up with all of that. Like, I think we're going to have to just allow for a little bit of time dilation, even if it's kind of lame. It's a little disappointing, but it's either that or, you know, drawing this out for putting 2 seasons of action and 4 seasons worth of time, and nobody wants that. So I'll take this. Unless
something's going to happen while they're on the road, I really don't care how they get from one place to another. Like I grew up watching Power Rangers. They used to jump all over the place.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
You want to hear the prediction that I am pretty even the wife said this was a good one.
Throw it up.
They're getting their white, you know, the White Walkers, like WIGHT white. It's going to be Jorah. Jorah's going to get infected. They're going to bring it back. And Dany may not even send him to Cersei. Dany might go in when she sees what happened to Jorah.
Wow. Okay. So he's like going to, he's like, I hope this isn't like I just had an idea. He's going to get a disease twice, is essentially what you're saying.
He's already kind of like lived that life of sacrificing himself for her, and like she got him cured or whatever. He may even like choose to kind of like be the guy that has it happen to him, and it goes back to her. And it's going to be some shit. This is also like, again, I've said the reason I'm such a Team Jorah guy is like I lived in the friend zone my whole life. So like you're always like, man, she's gonna be really sad if like I got, you know, if something happened to me, then she'd be like, oh my God, I should have given more attention, you know? So, like, I'm just acting out like my own failed romances through Jorah.
You're just hoping that Daenerys sits back. It's like, God, that jerk broke my heart. Why didn't I just go with Jorah? He's such a nice guy. He actually understands me. He responds
she has sex
to
with the dead Jorah.
Maybe, man. That's really possible. That's like dying of complications in a hospital, though. It's like I get cured from grayscale, and then you go out and then get bit by a White Walker. Like that's like thinking you're so out of the woods, then all of a sudden you're right back in the thick of it. Oh, let's get to the Northern Suicide Squad. We'll end the episode on that. And we're actually going to talk about Clem. Are you officially buying stock in Bran?
Yeah, the Bran wagon is off and running.
I love that. I'm going to write that down.
The Bran wagon's off and running. I saw so much hatred towards him, and I'm all for getting a guy at low price. Bitcoin is like fucking that came out wrong. That came out very wrong. Maybe not. Maybe you guys will find out.
Oh, no, we heard you.
But I'm Team Bran. When he starts doing weirdo shit with his eyeballs, I feel like things are going to pop off then. He's going to be like one of our last lines of defense. He may actually be the guy that saves Arya, which I'm sure we could touch on too, because that shit's about to go down as well. Yeah. So get on the Bran. The Bran train leaves the station to whenever you watch this before. It leaves next Sunday at 8:59 p.m. If you're not on, it's locked.
Honestly, we talked about it with John. Coley, what's your stance on Bran?
Yeah, I mean, I get why people don't like him, but I'm all in on, like, he's super important. Like, it's painfully fucking obvious how important it is. I'm all in on important characters. Like, the thing that always, like, I don't know if it pisses me off or scares me, like, terribly is, like, every time he tries to, like, look at the Night King's like, I see you, motherfucker. Like, you are not slick. Everyone else is fooled by your little... just got back from freshman year studying abroad little shtick, but I'm not. I see you every single time.
It's like when you play like Manhunt with your older brother, and for some reason he just always knew where I was looking. Like I was like, oh, I have this brand new hiding spot. Then he would just look, and he'd be like, "You're in the tree," and I'd be like, "How do you know that I'm in the tree?"
Yeah, he's so yeah. I'm in on Bran. But I mean, everyone. I think the stock is too high right now on Gendry, like way too for a character we haven't seen since like Vietnam. Like the stock's way too high.
Yeah, I don't still get the. I'm not. Oh, by the way, and I'll apologize right now because I had like 4 people tweeted at me. I put in the fact, the Gendry spoiler, that he was going to be coming in my mailbag today, and a lot of people were upset. I thought that everybody knew that, but I'm sorry. So if I ruined that for you, I feel bad. I don't really feel that bad, but I think I should say I feel that bad. But so then we go. Here's the thing about Gendry. I love the fact he has a hammer and he's going to be swinging that thing like Giannis Cespedes and bashing people. I'm all in on that. I love the fact that Robert Baratheon had a warhammer. He has a warhammer. Like, I get the whole parallel. But it was said, like, about his fighting ability, like he can handle himself. Like, he's not like a prodigy or anything like that. He's not like Jon Snow, who's killed White Walkers, or Sir Beric, who can, light swords on fire, or the Hound, who's known as like this prodigious fighter. Like, he's a guy who can just sort of get by. So I just don't really get the point of including him unless he does something else with his other skills, like forge weapons and stuff like I don't know. It's just not necessarily how I expected him to be used. I was pretty surprised by all of it.
Would you think he was going to be making like stuff out of dragon glass, stuff like that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, so I guess maybe he can survive and still do that. But do you guys agree that it's just like sort of a weird use of him?
As of now, yes, but I feel like that's the thing. Like, did they bring him all the way back just to kill him? Like, we finally saw this asshole after he's rowing his dick off for weeks and then years, and it's like up, and now he's dead by a White Walker. Yeah. He just got really cold. Actually,
if he was the first one dead, if he was like the guy in a red shirt in a Star Trek movie where he just walks off the spaceship and bam, because they had totally. I liked how they did though when the whole like meme of like Gendry still rowing. Have you guys seen that on like Reddit and Twitter? Like they're like, meanwhile Gendry's, they like totally acknowledged it with the Onion Knight, like going up to him and being like, hey, like I thought you would still be rowing or something like that. If they like were like, oh, we're gonna be so fan servicey, we're gonna bring back this like beloved character, we're gonna have him bash a couple of skulls in, and then by the way, he's gonna die like immediately. Like that would make me laugh like really, really hard.
It kind of made me want it made me want a Ned Stark and Robert Baratheon like buddy cop show, like the way they were talking about like how they like beat asses back in the day and shit. Like Ned's clean cut one, Robert's the asshole,
Yeah, totally. We're completely getting them. And then all of a sudden we have wait, I just got the DM from the guy. Let me actually decide if I want to read this or not. And then we have Sam. Sam is going to. Coley, do you want to talk about your hatred of Sam? Because I've been more everybody's anti-Sam. I think I'm more pro-Sam than most. So I don't know. I guess that you could say that I have mixed feelings on him. What was going through your head when literally Gilly read the secret that would like break the whole thing wide open, where she was just like Rhaegar Targaryen got married in a secret ceremony in Dorne, which for people who don't know those are Jon Snow's 2 parents and proves who his parents are. And then he just like ultimately was like, shut the fuck up. Like Coley, like what was your reaction to that?
Well, that's why
he's pathetic and understanding.
He's supposed to be the guy who's like knows in the books, like he's like his whole main purpose is to be like figuring this shit out. Like, yeah, he peeled Jorah like an onion. Like that was sick. Like this is what he's there for. Like he was Jon Snow's pal. Like he's supposed to be like figuring all this shit out. And then Gilly, who's like pretty much illiterate, figures it out. Like we don't even need Sam. Like we don't need Sam at fucking all.
Yeah. So you're not necessarily anti-Gilly, you're just anti-Sam.
Yeah, I mean that's both. Every time they show them on the screen, I'm like, God, like who gives a shit? Like even like all the people, like all the maesters or whatever they are, like all those dudes that like hate him. Like I get he's young and stuff, and that's kind of like the hazing that they do. But they're like, dude, like we don't believe that you've seen a White Walker. No one believes. Like, literally, no one's ever gonna believe it.
I wonder if they're gonna have. Oh, sorry, Clint.
No, I was gonna say that scene, the scene with Sam where all the Maesters were like, "Get the fuck out of here," Tarly. I was like, that's when I was like, "Holy shit!" This is kind of like The Wire, where it's like all the fucking people at the top, they don't listen to the people who are like grinding in the fucking streets and actually doing their job. Whether it's the cops, the fucking drug dealers, it's like usually the guys at the top, the bureaucracy or the government as well. And then Sam then is not listening to like his like direct report in a sense of Gilly, and I'm just like as maybe it's because again I'm someone who's at like the bottom of the org chart. Usually I'm like the fucking idiots up top don't know. Before Barstool is not like this, but all the other jobs I had.
I'm not going to say anything.
That's the way to go. But I was like, Sam is like the fat, shittier version of McNulty, basically. It like really pissed me off.
Yeah, and I do think that there's definitely an element to it where the Meisters are being so stubborn. It's like the ultimate, like kind of the way academics tend to be, where it's like they don't understand that somebody outside of their life experience can like possibly contribute. Like people know that they don't know, like they just simply can't go to. But he's going AWOL. He says he's tired of the reading about the achievements of better men, which is exactly what his father said to him when he said he was going to be a Meister. So I guess he kind of proved his dad right, who just got burned alive. So what kind of idiot gets burned alive though? So who knows how smart he actually was. Then we have Tyrion. He goes back to King's Landing. There's a lot to recap this episode, actually. Tyrion, he goes back to King's Landing for kind of an insane meeting. Bronn sets it up. Jamie, I thought Jamie would still maybe kind of love him. He just straight up hates him, but he lets him live. I actually thought, though, I don't know if you guys had this, when Jamie brought up I met with Tyrion and Cersei didn't have a reaction, it actually scared me more. Like, when it's more terrifying when you than your parents yelling at you. It's more terrifying when they expect you and they just whisper like, okay, what did you do? Or something like that. And that's even more scary. That's kind of how I felt when Cersei was just like, what did he have to say? Like in a calm, hushed voice.
Well, it's like when you tell something to your girl and she's like, it's fine. It's like, that's the worst. That's the last thing I wanted to hear. Like, what was really the problem? Like, can we get to that point? Cersei definitely did not appreciate that one. She's probably gonna suck his dick with poison on her lips again, but like keep it on this time.
That's probably gonna happen. Clem, what did you think of the Tyrion Jamie meeting? And I was kind of disappointed with how short it got cut, because I thought that we were gonna get another like Peter Dinklage, who's just such an outstanding actor, like him doing when he was about to like launch into a soliloquy, being like, "You think I wanted to be born like this?" Or it reminded me of his like, "I demand a trial by combat" speech. I was hoping for another one, and then Jamie just like cut it short. It was like, "What do you want?" What did you think of the whole thing, Clem?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get like another T-shirt slogan out of him right there. I was like, "Let's fucking go, Tyrion! We got some fucking babies to feed right now." Yeah, I mean the fact Cersei, like, I mean, she's in King's Landing. She's only getting stronger. She's has her position where she now knows everything that's going on. Like I said, when Tyrion's in the same room as Jamie or Bronn, I'm excited just because of the dynamic they have with Tyrion. But it's like terrifying. Like Cersei knows she's in a corner. She knows she's gonna like she has to like think outside the box to fuck with Daenerys. And like the way she leaves Jamie, where he's like back around her finger again with the baby, it's like really terrifying for all of us on Team Daenerys. So. I don't know, man. I really didn't get much out of the scene other than that. Just like, again, Cersei has everything on lock. So if she needs to fake the pregnancy, she's going to fake a pregnancy. If she has to let her little brother, who she wants murdered more than anyone in the world, in and out to get her goal, she's going to do that. Like 2 seasons ago, Cersei would have killed Tyrion the second he stepped in King's Landing. The fact she's now like you said, like she's like, oh yeah, he was here, no big deal. It's terrifying.
Yeah, like whatever she has in mind for him to make it worth keeping him alive is something that is just absolutely going to, like I said, it's going to astonish us. All right, and then finally we have the Northern Suicide Squad, the Expendables Part 3 or whatever. They're going north. It's the Hound. Could not assemble a group of people who possibly hate each other more. Like it was just straight up. It was like, oh, you're the ones who sold me to be killed. You're the guy who used to try to murder. Like you're the son of the man who tried to murder me. Like everyone had a connection to absolutely despise each other. But I guess they're going to instead just work together and be, a group of people just going. I thought when he said, let's go meet the White Walkers, John was like, no, like. We're going to bring our army and like do battle with the White Walkers. I didn't know it's going to be like 7 of them like throwing that. It's like Rambo trying to take out the entire Viet Cong by themselves. Like what are they even trying to expect to do? Next episode is going to be absolutely crazy because of it. What do you guys think is going to happen? Let's start with you, Coley.
Well, it was interesting when they were like, when John was like, we're all on the same side. Gendry was like, no, we're not. He said, we're all breathing. Like, we got to stop like worrying about all like what happened in the past. Like John's only looking forward. He's the most scared of White Walkers of anyone alive. Like I'll give Sam credit for that. He's less scared of White Walkers. But I was like, I tweeted it right after the show. Like, I don't want, like, the Hound, again, one of everyone's favorite characters. Like, I don't want to see a White Walker Hound, but at the same time, I kind of want to see a White Walker Hound because he would, like, just be fucking shit up all over the place. And, wow, if White Walker Hodor kills one of these people, I'm going to be terribly sad.
Yeah, all right. Oh, dude, I think it's coming, too. Like, I'm really convinced that, like everybody's been DMing me, like, all season for the mailbag. Once a week, I have one person asking if we are going to see White Walker Hodor.
Do you think Bran can warg into White Walker Hodor?
That's a great question.
And like strangle the Night King?
Could they like tell Bran too, like, hey, by the way, you need to can you try maybe warging into some animals and like aiding us in our fight against the White Walker? But there seems to be no attempt to communicate with the number one guy with the most significant power maybe in the entire show.
Technically he can see them, right? Like he knows what they're doing. Like he can jump into action if need be. They don't need to tell him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Coley, I feel like an idiot right now. All right, Clem, what do you think?
Again, the Bran wagon leaves 8:59 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. If that shit goes down, you're not fucking don't claim credit. I have my fucking mentions. I know who's on the squad. I feel like there's no way they're all just going to go into battle and either win or like whatever. I feel like we'll probably have some. I feel like the end of it, it's like half the crew with Jon leading the way, obviously, because I don't see Jon dying anytime soon, and our boy Jorah as a white coming back to Dragonstone and showing Khaleesi that this shit is real and it's fucking bad. So that's I hated how they let the battle start and then it ended. But if they didn't give us, if it's only gonna be like 10 minutes worth of fighting, I feel like it would have happened tonight. I feel like it's gonna be worth our while next week.
Well, like,
oh God, Chapman just gave up a home run to tie at the bottom of the ninth. God, what? I'm sorry. We should, Coley, what were you going to say?
Well, it's great because I'm on delay. I just saw Hanley strike out. So tremendous. Thank you for that. What I was going to say is, like, when Daenerys got surrounded by the dudes in the gold masks, I can't remember their names right now.
The Sons of the Harpy.
Yeah, the Harpy. Like, that's when Drogon, like, he had been gone for a while. He just kind of came back and came to her defense. Like she didn't like call for him or anything. He just kind of like sensed it. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like,
I love where you're going with this.
Yeah. So if John Wall is a true Targaryen, like Drogon already told his two brothers, Leangelo and Lamello, about that. Wow. He's gonna get in trouble with like the Night King and stuff, and one of them's just gonna show up. And it's either going to go real well or we're going to get a White Walker dragon, which could go real well for the White Walkers if you're a White Walker kind of guy. But I feel like since we saw the 500 million people that are White Walkers and there's like 6 of Jon Snow's gang, I think they're going to need a dragon to sense that there's some trouble happening.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that theory a lot.
All right, I agree. There's going to have to be some sort of X factor. I'm not if it's going to be the dragon. I'm not sure. All right, and I realize there's one more thing we have to talk about.
Oh, you didn't tell me it was David, Raphael, my youngest, strongest son, who went.
Dude, oh my God! I was in the stadium Friday where Chapman gave us the. I don't know. Oh God, this isn't a Yankees podcast. I don't get why he's still a closer. Like I honestly like. It's just absolutely astonishing. Whatever. Sorry. One last thing, and then Arya is she doesn't fully trust Sansa, and Peter Baelish. He's just the GOAT. Like, really. Like, he really is. Like, you can hate him. I hate him. When it comes to being a step behind, to plant what I suspect was a fake note in order to make Arya hate her sister to cause a divide between the two of them, like, that's just devious to a level that I just can't even comprehend. I said in one of my blogs, the relationship between Arya and Sansa is going to be mostly fine. I think that there's going to be something that pops off. Did you guys have any thoughts about their sisterly spat that looks like with Baelish just driving a wedge straight through it? Clem.
I'm now at the point where anytime Littlefinger's on the screen, I stand up in fear, abject terror. I gotta respect the fuck out of the guy who does nothing but, speak words and move in the shadows. What's the line, Coley? Real G's move in silence like lasagna. I mean, that's Littlefinger for you. And someone tweeted me last week, how do we not know chaos is a ladder? To anyone who doesn't know that, I've wrote that in about 100 blogs and 200 tweets. It's my favorite fucking line of all in the whole show is chaos is a ladder.
I didn't. People were like crushing me, being like Clem and Charlie and John, like none of you knew like chaos was a ladder line. I was like, I didn't even think it needed to be said. Like I immediately picked up on it.
I have it tattooed right here. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Well, and then I go into I was so heated, and then I go into New York last week. I decide on my commute, hey, I'm going to listen to KFC radio. So I listen to KFC radio, and then I have Kevin and John just roasting. It's like, what kind of nerds immediately remembered the chaos as a ladder line? Like, what kind of loser do you have to be to immediately know that? I was like, guys, I'm that loser. I'm that kind of loser. Like right here, me and Clem. You guys claim are friends, but guess not.
My wifey got the note to like a pause of it, and it's like, basically, Dad is dead. Ned killed from wounds he took. He tried to steal the throne. Joffrey. Swear.
It's the real line that Sansa was forced to write by Cersei, telling her. Oh my God! So it's not even a fake note. It's legit. It's the real note that like Sansa wrote with a gun to the back of her head, and then Rob read it and immediately was like, "This is just a hostage note."
Yeah, it was Chekhov's note. We just didn't realize it at the time.
Chekhov's note. We didn't realize it the entire time. Coley, do you think we're just the biggest losers in the world right now for immediately having this recall?
No. I when Clem was reading it, I was like, that doesn't sound fake. Like that sounds like something that like was actually written. But like Arya doesn't know all of that. Like
yeah.
But again, this is where Bran needs to get shit off the pot. Like either he needs to start telling people some shit, or he's just gonna like watch all this unfold. Like or maybe it like leads to a different like ending. Like it's a necessary evil of sorts.
Yeah, like he uses the fact that he sees everything to be like, I'm going to scare Littlefinger and say chaos is a ladder. It's like, why don't you just tell him that, hey, I know you, maybe tell him like, hey, you tried to murder me. Like, hey, you handed me the like, I'll hand you the dagger that started this war that they tried to kill you. Like, pick it up, be like, yeah, like, wasn't that you? Like, who did that? Like, I don't know. It seems like something that,
Let me just say this much. As like the CEO of Bran Corp, there's also a chance he's going to really, really fuck everything up like he fucked up Hodor's life. Like the whole Mad King, burn them all, will come back to Bran, and Bran just really fucked everything up, including like getting his sisters killed. If we're on the Bran wagon, you're also in for all the bad that comes with the Bran wagon. And he crashes and burns and he destroys the entire world. So it's a risky proposition.
Can't cherry pick on the Bran wagon.
Clem, would you say that you're the CEO of Big Baller Bran?
Big Baller Bran, yeah. I mean, that best case scenario, Bran comes in fucking swagging like LeVar. That's what we're hoping for, finale next year.
That's what we're hoping for. All right, so that's it for the show. Shout out to the Plum Market. Coley, thank you for coming on. I'll let you watch extra innings because Aroldis Chapman is, for some reason, the Yankees closer, despite the fact that there are about 3 on the roster who are better than him. But we have to take care of his ego because we gave him a huge contract, so it's tough. But Coley, thanks for coming on. Any last words?
No, thanks for having me, guys. I'm glad I was able to piece together that Jon needing like calling a dragon thing at the end there. That was big for me.
I'm glad. Yo, if that happens, we'll like clip this. I'll clip this out and put it in a blog, and you can recap the last 2 episodes of it too. You can just
this motherfucker knew the spoilers. If that happens, this is the problem.
No, I promise you. On my mother. I promise I did not do that. You saw me in real time. I had to ask questions. I'm not that smart to be like, I'll ask a question to get them off this end. Like, no, that's not what happened there.
We really did see like your like thought process just like go like we actually just saw it like happen. Yeah. Like that was we could send this to like the Secretary of Education and she could like learn something maybe from it. All right, Clem, any last words?
Just want to say thanks, Coley, for joining, and I was ready to bring out Bill Russell slander if you started slandering my people, so I'm happy that didn't have to come out today.
Well, that would have been a loss for you, Clem. Like, why? You're like Bran. You saw how that would have went for you.
I'm also like Cersei. Like, if you're gonna come at me, I'll just tear the whole world down and see what happens.
I respect it.
I never would want to see that. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Have a good one, fellas.
Later.
Yeah.